Donald Trump is threatening New York City if his preferred candidate in the mayoral race doesn't win tomorrow. If Zohran Mamdani wins the election, the president says he will restrict federal funds to the city.
We begin tonight with an unfolding political storm in New York City, where President Donald J. Trump has issued a direct and unprecedented warning regarding the outcome of New York's mayoral election. The stakes could not be higher, as the president appears to be leveraging federal funding as a tool of political influence, a move that has ignited debate across the nation. In a statement released earlier today, President Trump made his position clear. Should Zohran Mamdani, his preferred candidate, secure victory in the upcoming election, the flow of federal funds to New York City will remain steady. Conversely, if Mamdani is defeated, Trump asserts he will drastically limit federal contributions to the city. In his own words, he declared, "It is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home, because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival." This rhetoric marks one of the most direct interventions by a president in a local municipal election in recent memory, raising serious questions about the use of federal influence and funding in domestic politics. Analysts are closely monitoring the situation, noting that such statements could have far-reaching economic and social implications for New York City, one of the nation's largest and most economically significant metropolitan areas. Trump's remarks specifically reference Mamdani, the candidate widely seen as aligned with the former president's policy positions and political base. Mamdani's platform has emphasized law and order initiatives, reductions in municipal spending, and a focus on supporting small businesses. Conversely, his opponent, Curtis Sliwa, has positioned himself as a progressive candidate, advocating for increased social programs, housing initiatives, and investments in public infrastructure. Adding further complexity to the narrative, President Trump also publicly endorsed Andrew Cuomo, stating, "A vote for Curtis Sliwa is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice." The endorsement of Cuomo, who has had his own controversial political history, signals a strategic alignment designed to influence voter perception and turnout. Political analysts are weighing the implications of these statements, noting that the intersection of federal authority and local governance is a delicate balance. New York City relies on federal funding for a wide array of essential services, including public safety, transportation infrastructure, healthcare initiatives, and education. Any reduction in federal support could have immediate and tangible effects on millions of residents. Economists are particularly concerned about the potential financial ramifications. Federal funds account for a significant portion of New York City's budget, and sudden restrictions could impact public transportation projects, emergency services, and social welfare programs. Analysts warn that even the prospect of a reduction could create uncertainty in municipal planning and financial markets, potentially affecting bond ratings and investor confidence. Legal experts have also weighed in on the matter, pointing out that while the president cannot unilaterally redirect funds without congressional approval, public statements of this nature can nonetheless influence bureaucratic processes and the timing of federal disbursements. Historically, the executive branch has some discretion in allocating certain funds, and the mere threat of a reduction can create a chilling effect on municipal decision-making. Beyond the economic and legal implications, Trump's statements have sparked a heated political debate. Critics argue that leveraging federal funding as a political weapon undermines democratic norms and could set a dangerous precedent. Opponents in both the Democratic and Republican parties have called for restraint, warning that weaponizing federal resources for political gain erodes public trust and the integrity of local elections. Supporters of the former president frame his statements as a necessary assertion of accountability. They argue that cities like New York have historically operated with fiscal irresponsibility and political agendas that diverge from federal priorities. From this perspective, Trump's warnings are framed as a form of pressure intended to align municipal leadership with policies that they believe benefit the broader public and national interest. On the ground in New York City, reactions have been swift and varied. Local leaders have expressed concern that the rhetoric could deepen political polarization and distract from the pressing challenges facing the city. Public officials emphasize the need to maintain continuity in essential services regardless of the electoral outcome, while civic groups are mobilizing to ensure voter engagement remains high. Voter sentiment is also being closely monitored as the mayoral race has drawn unprecedented attention in recent weeks. Turnout is expected to be significant, with many residents citing concerns over public safety, housing affordability, and infrastructure development as key determinants in their decision-making. The high-profile intervention by Trump is likely to further intensify voter scrutiny and could influence voter patterns in both predictable and unpredictable ways. Political commentators note that Trump's statements represent a broader strategy often seen in modern elections: the attempt to directly shape local outcomes through national-level influence. While previous administrations have made endorsements, rarely has a president so explicitly tied federal funding to the success or failure of a single candidate. This move underscores the increasingly intertwined nature of local and national politics in the United States. Experts also point to the historical significance of the timing. The United States is facing numerous domestic and international challenges, including economic uncertainty, ongoing debates over immigration policy, and complex geopolitical dynamics. In this context, the actions of a high-profile political figure like Donald Trump are not just local news, they have national implications. Public reaction on social media has been intense. Citizens are divided, with some praising Trump for standing firm in his convictions, while others accuse him of using coercive tactics to sway voters. Editorial boards across major newspapers have published analyses and opinion pieces dissecting the legality, morality, and potential consequences of the president's statements. The debate is emblematic of a deeply polarized political climate, where every statement and action is scrutinized for both its immediate and long-term impact. Legal scholars emphasize the need to separate rhetoric from action. While Trump's statements are inflammatory, the actual implementation of federal funding restrictions would require compliance with statutory and regulatory frameworks. Nevertheless, the mere public threat has already shifted political discourse, raising questions about federal influence, accountability, and the limits of executive power. As the election day approaches, all eyes are on the citizens of New York City. The choices made by voters will determine not only the next mayor, but also potentially the city's relationship with federal authorities in the months and years to come. Observers warn that the implications extend far beyond municipal governance, touching on constitutional principles, democratic integrity, and the practical functioning of one of the world's largest and most influential cities. Meanwhile, analysts are forecasting possible outcomes and strategies. Should Mamdani prevail, supporters anticipate alignment with federal priorities and potentially smoother coordination on infrastructure and policy initiatives. Should Loa emerge victorious, the city may face tension in securing federal support, necessitating alternative funding strategies and heightened engagement with state authorities to maintain essential services. In conclusion, this unprecedented intervention by a former president underscores the increasingly complex dynamics between local elections and national politics. New York City stands at a critical juncture, with the mayoral race serving as a microcosm of broader political battles playing out across the country. The coming days will test not only the city's electoral system, but also its resilience, governance, and ability to navigate pressure from powerful political actors. This has been a detailed report for the Global Watch Journal. We will continue to follow this story closely, providing updates on the mayoral election, reactions from city leaders, and the evolving implications of federal involvement in local governance. Stay with us for continuing coverage as this historic election unfolds.